The sun was hot. The ground was dusty. The market was full of voices. People selling, shouting, laughing. Clara walked slowly. Her nurse uniform slightly faded from long shifts. Her bag felt heavy on her shoulder. She just wanted to get home and rest. Then she heard it. Laughter, not the good kind. Sharp, loud, cruel. She turned and saw a group of people standing in a circle. Something wasn't right. She walked closer. In the middle was a young man. His clothes were old. His hands shook slightly as he held a white cane. Dark glasses covered his eyes. He was trying to move but kept bumping into things. A box of tomatoes, a wooden stool. A man shouted at him, "Watch where you're going." Someone else threw a piece of bread. It hit the man's arm. "Please," he said softly. "I'm just trying to find my way." The crowd laughed. Clara's heart ached. "Stop it," she shouted. "Can't you see he's blind? What's wrong with you all?" The crowd mumbled and slowly walked away. She stepped toward the man. "Are you okay?" He nodded. "Yes, thank you. I didn't mean to cause trouble." His voice was gentle, calm, not angry, not scared, just tired. "What's your name?" she asked. "Andrew." "I'm Clara." "You look hungry. Have you eaten?" He smiled a little. "No, but I'm all right." "No, you're not." "Where do you live?" she said firmly. "Let me take you home so you can eat and rest." He took a small step back. "No, please. I can't. You don't need to worry about me." "I insist," she added. He hesitated. "If you can just point me to the nearest corner, I'll be fine." "A corner?" she asked. "Yes, just somewhere I can sit and pray." "I don't have a house," she blinked. "No house? Where do you sleep?" "Anywhere I can. Sometimes behind shops, sometimes near the church. It's not so bad." Clara's throat felt tight. She took a deep breath. "Listen, Andrew, you're coming with me just for tonight. You can shower, eat, and rest." He shook his head. "You don't have to do this." "I know," she said gently. "But I want to. You don't look so well." He was quiet for a moment. Then he whispered, "Thank you. May God bless you." She stepped beside him and took his hand gently. "Come on," she said. "Let's get you home." About an hour later, Clara guided Andrew up the stairs of her apartment, a place she shared with her younger sister, Abigail. The building was quiet with soft paint and clean tiles. They reached the third floor. She opened the door gently. "Here we are," she said. "Home." Andrew stepped in slowly. He could feel the warmth of the place, the soft rug under his feet, the smell of lavender, the quiet. "It smells peaceful," he said. Clara smiled. "Make yourself comfortable. I'll get you some food." She helped him sit on the couch and went into the kitchen. As she heated leftover rice and stew, she glanced at the clock. Abigail will be home soon, she thought. Let me explain everything before she explodes. But Abigail came in too early. The front door swung open. Heels clicked on the tiles. Shopping bags dropped to the floor. Then silence. "Clara." Abigail's voice was sharp. "Who is that?" Clara came out of the kitchen, wiping her hands. "Abigail, please listen. Is that a beggar in my house?" Andrew sat still, head down. "Abigail, calm down." "He's not." "Don't tell me to calm down," Abigail shouted. "You brought a street man into our apartment. He needed help. He's blind. People were hurting him in the market. So, you made our house a charity home?" She snapped. "Are you okay, Clara?" "It's just for one night," Clara said softly. "He hasn't eaten. He has no home. I couldn't leave him like that." Abigail folded her arms. "You think this makes you a saint? You think helping some random dirty man makes you better than the rest of us?" "Stop it, Abigail," Clara said, her voice shaking. "Please, he's human. I don't care. You want to help him? Take him to your own apartment." "Not this one. I don't have my own place." "This is my home, too," Clara replied. Abigail scoffed. "You know what? I'm calling Mom. She needs to hear this madness." "Please," Clara begged. "Just let him stay for one night. He'll leave tomorrow." Abigail stared at Andrew, who hadn't moved or spoken. "One night," she said coldly. "And he better not touch anything. If anything goes missing, you'll both leave." Clara nodded slowly. "Thank you." Abigail stormed off to her room, slamming the door behind her. Clara turned to Andrew. "I'm sorry you had to hear that." He gave a small smile. "It's okay. I've heard worse. Thank you for standing up for me." She nodded, placed the warm plate of food in his hand, and sat beside him. But even as they sat in silence, Clara could feel it. The house had changed. The next morning, the air in the apartment was thick. Clara made tea for Andrew, helped him sit on the balcony for some fresh air, and then rushed to get ready for work. "I'll be back early," she told him. "Just rest. Call me if you need anything." Andrew nodded. "Thank you, Clara. I'll be fine." The moment Clara closed the door, Abigail stepped out of her room. Her eyes landed on Andrew sitting quietly in the corner. "Still here?" she scoffed. "Didn't you say one night?" Andrew sat up. "Good morning." She crossed her arms. "Don't talk to me and don't touch anything. You're just a parasite in this house." Andrew lowered his head. "I'm sorry. I'll leave soon." Abigail rolled her eyes and walked into the kitchen. Over the next few days, her words got sharper. Every time she passed Andrew, she threw a comment. "You know, you're very comfortable for someone who doesn't pay rent. I wonder how you're even blind. Maybe it's karma. Must be nice to be a charity case." Andrew said nothing. He just sat quietly, hands folded, lips moving in prayer. One evening, while Abigail was walking past, Andrew accidentally stepped back and brushed her foot. She looked down at her shoes, white heels with gold detail. "Oh my God," she shouted. "You just stepped on my shoes." "I'm sorry," Andrew said quickly. "I didn't mean. These shoes cost more than your whole life," she screamed. Andrew backed away. "I'm really sorry." "No, sorry isn't enough. You'll pay for it." "I don't have anything," he said quietly. Abigail moved so fast, even Andrew flinched. She slapped him across the face hard. "You blind fool," she yelled. Andrew stumbled and hit the corner of the table. Clara rushed in from her room, hearing the noise. "What happened?" "He ruined my shoes," Abigail shouted. Clara ran to Andrew, helping him sit up. Blood was on his forehead. "You hit him," she said, shocked. "Abigail, what's wrong with you?" "Ask your poor friend to pay for what he damaged," Abigail snapped. "Or you pay." Clara ignored her and rushed to the cabinet for a first aid kit. "Let me see," she whispered to Andrew. "I'm okay," he said softly. "You're bleeding," she said. "That's not okay." "I didn't mean to cause trouble," he murmured. "I'll leave tonight. I don't want to ruin the peace." "No," Clara said firmly. "You're not going anywhere. But I've caused too much pain." "You've caused nothing," she said, cleaning the cut. "She's the problem, not you." Abigail stood at the door, arms crossed. "If he's staying, then I want my money. Take it from my next paycheck," Clara replied, not looking up. Abigail scoffed and walked away. Andrew sat quietly, hands trembling. Clara looked at him and said, "You're not going back to the street, Andrew." "Not on my watch." And with that, the war inside that little apartment began. That night, the apartment was quiet. The city outside had gone to sleep, leaving only the soft hum of passing cars in the distance. Clara sat on the small rug in the living room, her legs folded under her. Andrew sat on the couch beside her, holding a warm mug of tea. A small lamp glowed in the corner, casting a soft light over the room. Abigail was in her room, and the door had shut tight since the argument. The silence outside her door was a relief. Clara looked up at Andrew. His head was slightly bowed, his fingers wrapped carefully around the mug. "Does your head still hurt?" she asked. "No," he said gently. "The pain left after your touch." She smiled a little. "You're very poetic for someone who's been through so much," he chuckled softly. "Pain teaches you how to speak with your heart." Clara was quiet for a moment, then said, "Can I ask? Where's your family? Anyone we can call?" Andrew shook his head. "There's no one to call. I lost my parents when I was 12. Car accident. I was the only one who survived." She looked at him with soft eyes. "I was passed from one distant relative to another," he continued. "Eventually, I ended up on the streets. That's where I grew up. That's where I learned how to survive. It wasn't easy, but I always believed God was with me." Clara's heart tightened. "You still believe?" "Always," he said. "Even when I lost my sight, I told myself, maybe God just wants me to see differently." She paused, then asked gently, "How? How did you lose your sight?" He took a slow breath. "A few years ago, I was working at a small shop helping load supplies. One evening, I got hit by a careless driver. Badly. I woke up in the hospital days later blind." Clara's eyes widened, her hand resting on her chest. "Since then," he continued, "everyone disappeared. Friends, neighbors, people I helped before. No one wanted me anymore. I became something people avoided. A burden, a castaway." Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm so sorry." He gave a small smile. "It's okay. It brought me here. It brought me you." Clara didn't speak for a moment. Her voice was quiet when she did. "My father died when I was 10, she said. Heart attack. He went to bed and never woke up. Andrew turned his face slightly toward her voice. It crushed my mother, she continued. She raised me and Abigail alone. I was the big sister, but Abigail always acted older. She liked attention, gifts, new things. I was just the quiet one. Andrew smiled. The strong one. She nodded slowly. We didn't have much, but I always believed things would get better. I studied hard, got into nursing school. When I got the job in the city, I moved here and brought Abigail with me. She wanted to chase her fashion dreams. He said nothing, but his silence felt full of listening. Sometimes I feel like she resents me, Clara said, like I'm holding her back. She doesn't know what she has. Andrew replied softly. They sat in silence again. The air between them was warm, heavy with truth. Clara looked up at him. His eyes, though they couldn't see, seemed so full of life, of peace, of strength. You're different, she whispered. You're kind. You're strong in a way most people don't understand. Andrew tilted his head. I'm just grateful for every breath. Clara stared at him for a long time. Her heart was beating slower, deeper. Something had started in her chest, soft and strange and strong. She didn't say it, not yet. But in that quiet night, sitting on the rug while the city slept, Clara knew she was falling in love. The days passed slowly but sweetly. Andrew stayed mostly in the living room, sitting by the window, listening to birds or humming soft hymns. He never asked for much. He never complained. He always smiled when Clara came home. She noticed the small things. How he folded his blanket neatly. How he always said thank you even for a glass of water. How he prayed silently before every meal. His humility wrapped around her like a warm scarf. At night when the apartment was quiet, they would talk. Not long conversations, just little pieces of life. But every word felt deep, honest, pure, and Clara felt it. She was falling. One evening, she stood by the kitchen doorway watching him. He was humming softly, head tilted back, the last sunlight brushing his face. Something about the way he sat there, peaceful, calm, gentle, made her chest ache. She turned away quickly, heart pounding. What am I doing? Later that night, they sat in the same corner of the living room, the lamp glowing faintly. Andrew turned slightly toward her. You've been quiet today, Clara nodded, her voice low. I've been thinking about what? She hesitated, then said about how unfair life is. Andrew chuckled lightly. It's true, but it still has its soft corners. Clara looked at him. Why are you like this? Like what? So calm, so peaceful after everything. He smiled. Because I've learned that peace isn't around you. It's inside you. Clara felt her eyes sting. She looked away. You're something else. Silence. Then Andrew said softly, Clara, I don't want you to get too close. She turned sharply. What do you mean? I mean, he took a deep breath. You deserve someone better. Someone who can take care of you. Someone who can walk beside you, not behind you. Not someone like me. She stared at him. I can't give you much, he said. I can't even see your face. How can I give you a future? Clara moved closer. Her voice shook. I don't need someone to give me the world. Then what do you need? He asked. I need someone with a good heart. Someone who fears God. Someone who understands pain and still chooses kindness. She paused. I see your soul, Andrew. Your heart. That's what matters. He didn't speak. His lips parted, but no words came. He turned his face away gently. How can someone like you even exist? Tears filled his blind eyes. I don't understand. You don't have to, she said, touching his hand. Just believe me. Andrew sat frozen. 1,000 thoughts ran through his mind. He tried to pull away, but he didn't. He stayed still, moved, touched, and deeply, deeply afraid because his heart, long buried under pain and dust, had started beating again. The air in the apartment had changed. It wasn't just the tension. It was something deeper. Abigail could feel it like a quiet whisper behind the walls. One afternoon, she came out of a room and saw Clara sitting on the couch beside Andrew. They were laughing softly about something. Clara's eyes sparkled in a way Abigail hadn't seen in years. She paused, watching them from the hallway. Her eyes narrowed. Later that evening, Clara was in the kitchen humming while stirring soup. Abigail leaned against the doorway, arms folded. You've been smiling a lot lately, Abigail said. Clara glanced back. Is that a crime? Abigail raised an eyebrow. Just curious. Seems like our guest is making himself very comfortable. Clara said nothing. You're falling for him, aren't you? Abigail's voice was sharp now. A blind beggar? That's your type. Clara's hands paused over the pot. I see the way you look at him, Abigail continued, and I get it. You've always liked the broken ones, but this is too much. Clara turned to her calmly. Be careful what you say, Abigail scoffed. Come on, Clara. Use your head. He's blind, poor, and he just so happened to end up in your house. He's playing you. He's not. Oh, really? Abigail smirked. He's manipulating you, getting into your emotions so you'll take care of him, feed him, house him, and maybe love him too, right? He probably laughs about it when you leave for work. Clara's jaw clenched. Enough. I'm just trying to protect you, Abigail said, her voice rising. You're all he has to leech off. When you lose everything, don't say I didn't warn you. Clara stepped closer, her voice firm now. He has more character than you'll ever understand. Abigail rolled her eyes. Of course. Let me guess. He's special, spiritual, a gift from God. He's kind, Evelyn said. He's loving. He's peaceful. He is an amazing person. He listens. He has a good heart. And right now, I cannot say the same for you. Abigail frowned. And for the record, Clara added, you are my younger sister. You have no right to interfere in my life or lecture me. Not with this. Abigail's face changed, shocked, angry, quiet. I'm not stupid, Clara said, her voice softer now, but steady. I know what I'm doing. Then she walked past her and returned to the living room, sitting beside Andrew, who had been silent the whole time, head bowed. Clara reached for his hand.